Hello, I'm Monty Griffin, a newly graduate of Full Sail University's Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting. In my past, I had a journalism background. I was sports editor of my high school paper for 2 years. One of those years, we won state for our newspaper. I wrote high school football stories for the local paper. I majored in public relations at Texas State San Marcos. After graduating, I felt burned out in the media field. I chased stand-up comedy, indie filmmaking. And 3 years ago, I heard about the Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting. I could not get it out of my mind. I was in my 40s. I hated my job in Medicare. Did I want to take a chance on this program? 2 years ago, I decided to go all in and enrolled in the program. I'm glad I did. I found my love for the media again. I like being on camera reading sports news. I miss writing news stories. I wanted to write for a website. I wanted to produce and host podcasts. Yet, I didn't really think I was ready for the writing part. So I decided to pursue a master's in journalism for the new media. I think this will get me the experience to write for a website. For the first time in my college career, the class book is something I actually would have read on my own. Robert Greene's Mastery. I read his Art of Seduction book years ago. I enjoyed reading this book. The first strategy he states is return to your origins. He mentions Albert Einstein's childhood gift of receiving a compass. The compass used magnetic forces. According to Greene, this opened up his mind to what other forces are in the world. As a child, I remember my dad reading the sports page. To be like him, I started to read the sports page. I loved the information one could get from the newspaper. It always fascinated me. And when I needed to choose an elective for my freshman year in high school, I chose journalism. I wanted to learn how to put together a sports page. Greene's second strategy is to occupy the perfect niche. In today's media world, there are many websites and podcasts out there. So how does one stand out? Find your lane, stay in it. I've noticed the 80s are having a slight comeback. People want to know about it. I have extensive pop culture knowledge at the time. And most importantly, I grew up then. I will use my knowledge of the decade to make a podcast people would want to listen to that want to learn about the 80s. Greene's third strategy is avoid the false path. Greene mentions Mozart's journey as a child. His jobs kept him from finding his true love, composing. I've noticed when I start a screenplay, challenges will arise. It could be hitting the wall in the script, and maybe I get another idea for a script, or I can get bogged down in the first 10 pages and never do anything else. Going on these false paths will keep someone from not completing the goal. Stay on the path to complete the goal. That is the main focus. Greene states, find your way back as another strategy. When one has a goal, life gets in the way constantly. There'll be obstacles in achieving one's dream. Often one can get knocked off the path to chase a dream. Jobs, family, health can make one forget to dream. When this happens, remember the goal. Get back on track. One needs to decide how to achieve the dream. What's the problem reaching your goal? One must correct it and get back to chasing the dream. Finally, Greene's theory is to let go of the past. This one is tricky. The past can define who we are. Still, we can change our actions. And people spend many hours dwelling on the past. If this one thing was different, my whole life would be better. One needs to move on. In my early 20s, I flunked out of a major university. And for 2 years, I couldn't get it out of my mind. I kept flunking and it didn't work out. So I moved away from my hometown. I enrolled in Austin Community College. I studied. I looked at myself in the mirror and said, we're going to do it this time. I got a 3.5 GPA that semester. 3 years later, I graduated. During the last summer, I started a podcast, Members Only 80s Only. The personal goals, when I get my Adobe Creative Cloud back, I'll release a podcast each week. Contests must be created and promoted correctly. I'll also each week make a 5-minute YouTube video of the week in the 80s. I'll go over what happened in the 80s that week and promote it. Greene in his book and Mastery has laid out a blueprint to achieve mastery in one's craft. By reading the book and following the methods, I will be a better student and much closer to achieving my goal. My goal next year is to write and have a podcast with the Ringer website. Thank you.